before starting, one thing I want to thank our venue today is RPC, and they are our members and very nice to always give us this venue. And on your chairs you find some information about the Chamber of Commerce and about our festival, so you can check it out. And I quickly hand over to Fair Play. They are a company which is headquartered in Italy, and they started in Hong Kong this year. So Francesco is the founder, and Jonathan is the managing partner in Hong Kong. So enjoy the seminar.
Good afternoon. Thank you everybody for joining in and attending this seminar. Let me also warm thank the Italian Chamber of Commerce and the fantastic team for this organization. My name is Francesco Orlando. I founded the company 10 years ago, so we celebrate 10 years in 2015. And to celebrate this important anniversary, what better than setting up a company here in Hong Kong, the business crossroad of the Asia Pacific. What we do is business consulting for branded driven goods and services worldwide. So we operate in 10 countries. And basically, we are a strategy and sales and marketing team, looking after the top line and the bottom line of the clients. That's it. Just as simple as that. We ran over 100 projects so far. Some of the most well-known, reputed brands work with us, likely enough. And as regards, very briefly, our background, like I say, I'm a strategy and marketing guy. I come from marketing experiences at Ferrari cars, Maserati cars, and multinationals. I teach marketing at the University of Ferrara. And after one experience in one of the major consulting firms, I set up the company in, like I said before, in 2005. Let me introduce you also to Jonathan Young, who will speak. Welcome. Will speak later today. Jonathan is a seasoned consultant from BCG and from Mars, and is an entrepreneur as well in the luxury retail sector. And he just joined our team to develop our activity here in Hong Kong, in the Asia Pacific. So today we would like to give you a pan view of how technologies are impacting and will impact the luxury and premium business. It's a storm. So the purpose of this meeting is to give you a framework, to have some clear ideas where we are, where we're going, according to our point of view. So you might fight this with question and answer after the meeting. Just few words about what is a luxury in terms of numbers. So we passed from 140 million consumers of luxury goods in the year 2000 to 350 million in 2014. So significant growth. And most of the analysts of the sectors related to luxury expect to have over 450 million consumers in 2020. If we break down the sector into different areas, overall in value, global total luxury expenditure 2014 was over $1.2 billion. Is expected to be $1.5 billion in 2020. What we mean by total luxury expenditure? So we mean personal luxury, which is apparel, jewelry, and watches. Then it's perfumery and cosmetics. And then we have the experiential luxury, that is hotellerie and restaurants. And then we have luxury cars and yachts. And others is arts and private jets. Okay? Some other insights. China is already worth approximately about over 25% of the personal luxury expenditure. And another important insight is that 55% of it is spent abroad. The global expected growth of luxury this year at constant rates is 3 to 4%. So there is a decrease in the growth. So it's important to do regional strategies to understand where to focus a growth strategy, for example. So some of the main trends are that the majority of the consumers, particularly in China, they are asking for omnichannel. Omnichannel is accessing visually and purchasing wise to a brand. So I need to find this product online or in the physical retail, all the channels, franchising, whatever. Social media influence is growing at an incredibly fast pace within the word of mouth influence. Other important aspect is we don't talk anymore about geographical markets, but more about nationalities. Due to what I was saying before, people are traveling, so from one nationality they buy elsewhere than in their country. Okay. Brands, more and more from brands to retailers, okay? Direct investments and direct reach to their consumers. Technology, CRM, consumer, all integrated. And luxury is driven more and more by touristic spending. Remember the 55% of the Chinese spending abroad. Just before going into technologies, I wanted to clear what is a PAM view on the luxury spending. So, what is the digital impact on this huge agglomerate industry? But if we consider the brands' global revenues, already 3% of their revenues comes from e-commerce in 2014. It is expected to double or to triple in 5 years. An enormous growth, an enormous impact on the way the brands communicate to the consumers and on the operation, the logistics, a huge change. Over 50% in 2008 of their sales of the brands is influenced by the digital behavior of the consumer. Half of it comes from the consumer being registered, so all the data in the hand of the brand. And the other half is enough to be contactable. So the way marketing will be done will be very different. ROPO, which is research online, purchase offline, is a phenomenon, already 50%, going over 80% in 5 years' time. The other way around is the showrooming. That is research in store, purchased online. It's already 9% this year, okay? 50% of the global sale will be extra spending, and look, 5% in store and 6% online, 3% cross. M-commerce, already 38% of the emails are open from a mobile device. You already understand there is a revolution in progress, okay? I just want you to have a framework about, map, crossing, technology, and the luxury. So it's just a way, to see some of the main technologies impacting, influencing now and in the future, the luxury business. Some technologies are more web-based. Some other technologies are more physical devices-based. Some technologies impact more on the business, on the sales. Some other technologies are more impactful on the cost cutting, on the operation, on the efficiency. Okay? I will focus on the red ones in the remaining part of my presentation, while Jonathan Yang will focus on other specific topic for Chinese market and for retail. Okay, first technology who is having already an impact is IoT, Internet of Things. That means products connected and speaking with other products and speaking with consumers. It means sensors, it means data, information, meanings shared between the brands and among the brands and the consumers. I will go into the detail of that later. Another important technology that is having, but will have in the near future, an important impact is big data. That is the availability from different sources of an enormous amount of information that needs to be treated in a proper way to predict consumer behavior. This is more general information to tell you that we will be all connected and the width of the band will be bigger and bigger. So most information will be swapped and will be given to the consumers. Very quick, in a digital way, very quick, fast, and extensive. Another technology is the augmented and virtual reality. This will change the way we interact with devices. This is extremely important because it will change also the consumer electronics business. Basically, it's user-friendly interfaces allowing seamless purchasing and emotional spending, which has an important impact for brands who sell emotions and intangibles, not only products. 3D printing. 3D printing is already important, but it's going to be extremely important for example, in design, because basically you sell file and you produce in many points the product with a printer. Okay? Imagine from a logistic and operation point of view what a big change this can mean. Virtual assistants, yes. What you saw in Iron Man will become from science fiction the truth. Okay, if you look at the IoT, we will have, in few years' time, between 30 to 50 billion products connected. We are 7 billion human beings, so this is a much bigger business, okay? And if you look at the portions, so look between connected cars, wearables, connected smart TVs, tablets, smartphones, personal computers, Internet of Things, that is the products connected, is by far the biggest business. Like it or not, sooner or later, if you produce a product, a consumer product, it has to be connected. Some examples. This is autonomous driving. This is a Mercedes, but also other brands like Audi are experimenting driving cars that are driving without the driver. I'm a former race driver. I like to drive the car, but maybe not in the traffic jam. In the traffic jam, if I can work or sleep or enjoy conversation via Skype with my family, and the car takes me to point A to point B, point C, etc., without stress because of the traffic jam. This is a future to come. Just imagine the impact on the insurance business. Will the insurance sell to the consumers the policies, or they will make agreements with the car makers? Okay. Aston Martin, who's one of our clients in UK, look after my colleague Massimo Fedeli in UK. Is the traditional sports car. Look at the technology. Technology impacted on one of the most important traditional car maker. They will do a full electric car SUV, which is, I mean, not exactly what is their history. So they will enhance their position. No, not going to change. They're going to enhance and make it more modern, in line with the technology. This is the power of technology. Okay, I was speaking about virtual reality and user-friendly interface, etc. But look at that. Imagine this is like a supermarket selling cart, Because all the big data connected with the car, you're driving, or maybe you're not driving, you're sitting in the back, and the car is telling you, knowing from the big data, your preferences, your tastes, etc. In 200 meters, there is the shirt you like. You pick it up 3 kilometers after at the station where we have the code. And when you arrive home, you have spent $2,000 with a seamless purchasing approach through your car. And maybe the car maker will make co-marketing deals with Gucci, Burberry, or whatever. Okay? Moving retail. This is an IoTized, pass me the word, IoTized product. Is Bulgari, is a famous decorative wrist watch. Well, it is a function that is in line with their positioning, because in the imaginary collective is related to the safety, where you put jewels, etc. Well, you can decodify the code, your safety. Okay? Interesting, huh? This is a ring that is connected to your device, and because the devices are becoming bigger and bigger, you put it in your bag, and instead of checking out all the times whether you received a message or a call, an incoming call, whatever, the ring is vibrating for all messages, and this is an example of how technology and the product itself can work together. But looking at the big data, this is extremely important, because you gather billions and billions of information from different sources, from the social media or whatever sources the company is attached to. And then you organize the data, and you can generate actionable insight in order to drive the research and development and create better products and better services. That's what big data is for. As a simple and clear existing example is the Google Fashion Trend Report. They analyzed 6 billion queries on fashion from 2012 to 2014. 6 billion, an enormous amount of data to give you the insights about what's the best color, the next color to be on fashion, the kind of products, whether long or short skirts, the size, whatever, in order to predict. But just one number. Augmented and virtual reality is worth, in the prediction 2020, $150 billion. This is a huge impact and a huge interaction between technology and emotional product and services. This is just an example. So a website, you can put your arm and you can test by wearing virtually a watch or a ring or a bracelet. But imagine the same technology you can use in a shop window or a frame of a shop window, and people can go and test a collier or whatever, okay? Okay, there should be a video here, but it didn't work. Okay, no. It's just a very quick video. Hublot is a super fast-growing brand within the luxury watchmaking, and they use holographic displays to show not only the mechanism but also the products. Well, just imagine. Did you ever pass by a jeweler at night or after dinner? No watches outside. They are in the safety. Well, what if instead of that I have holographic displays of products? So virtual 360-degree view of the product without having logistic problem and safety risks, okay? Okay, this is really disruptive technology, because I was saying before the 3D, and I will show you also in another chart, is going to impact really in all the value chain, some industries, particularly in the design, and this already started. I want to tell you a little story. When I worked at Ferrari, I remember around 20 years ago, the first example of 3D was in the Formula One department. I remember the engineers starting operating the file, the computer connected to the machine, and after all night working, the day after, a piece of the engine was made of resin and available, okay? And that was 20 years ago. And now is available for mass production, okay? These are some examples of 3D printing accessories. Data from this is real, okay? So if I look at the same framework I showed you in the beginning, if I look at it from a perspective related to the maturity of the technologies, so when they will impact on the luxury, so some technologies are already there, are in not the maturity stage, but they're going to be mature and they're impacting already, because social media applications and e-commerce are impacting already, and they're widely used. While all the other technologies are in progress, Big data, we're talking about the future, but it's a future that will come. Internet of Things is a present future. 3D, absolutely. Augmented reality, $150 billion in 2020. Okay? If I look at them from a, let's say, a financial impact towards the value chain, we see that social media and application impact more in the marketing and sales area, the e-commerce also on the logistics, because of course, then you have to deliver from multi-points due to the needed proximity of the consumer from the point of purchase. Then you have virtual assistant, NFC communication, augmented reality, etc. They impact in marketing and sales. Big data, more in marketing in the sense of a CRM, highly sophisticated CRM. Of course, also in the R&D, because it's strategic marketing to decide where to drive the investments on which kind of product, etc., because of predicting as structural insights where the consumers will go, what they want, etc. 3D scan and 3D printing. Internet of Things from marketing, sales, and logistics. 3D scan, 3D printing, the impact on R&D, on production, on marketing, on sales and logistics. Online mobile payments, financial-wise, the impact on all the value chain. Okay, so let me introduce Jonathan. We'll speak extensively about the deployment of what we said in China, and then we wrap up the presentation, and then we are available for question and answer or individual meetings or whatever. Please do come.
Thank you, Francesco. So let me give a quick background about myself. So I'm Jonathan, I'm from Hong Kong, and I've been doing management consulting for about 15 years, first in London and then followed in Hong Kong with BCG. And then about 8 years ago, I became an independent consultant specializing in helping European and US companies to grow in the China market and also to enter the China market. And then at the same time, when Francesco said that I have a bit of entrepreneur, is that I founded 2 companies actually with my friends to sell and distribute high-end men's shoes from US, from Europe to Hong Kong and Beijing, and also a tie from Italy, Marinella, in Hong Kong. So we have a shop in Landmark and also in Kerry Center in Beijing. So let me quickly talk about the luxury market in China at the moment. So in 2014, so we estimate that the total spending on luxury goods by Chinese, mainland Chinese, is about 380 billion RMB. Francesco mentioned that a lot of that, 55% of that is spent overseas. So this is mainland Chinese tourists shopping in Hong Kong, in Tokyo, or Europe, or in the US. Another big chunk, about 15%, is through the Daigou channel. So I'll go into a little bit more detail on that channel later on. And the last bit, which is about 30%, it's the actual mainland Chinese sales. If we look at that in a little bit more detail, so that has been growing previously until about last year. So there was some pressure, firstly because of the government policy, and then also because of the currency exchange. So that's why the spending in mainland China has dropped by 1% in 2014, mainly driven by watches. And then we'll see that actually we have some numbers that are saying that the overseas spending has increased over that time. And because the watch has shrunk by quite a bit, but because of the cosmetic has gone up, so the overall effect is about minus 1%. So technology. On this part, on China, we'll be focusing on 3 topics. So the e-commerce, the social media, and also the online and mobile payments. So for e-commerce, e-commerce is huge in China. I think we're all aware of that. In terms of number of online shoppers, there are just over 360 million online shoppers in 2014, and we expect that to reach 475 million by 2016. That is a growth rate of about 20%, which is much higher than the rest of the world, which we expect it to grow at about 7%. So what's driving this growth? So a few things. First of all is the penetration of mobile phones and also the smartphones. And also because of the development of the e-platforms, C2C and B2C platforms. So that has developed, and the logistics and everything is in place, so that has attracted a lot of the online shoppers. And another trend that we have seen recently is the shifting from the C2C to the B2C platform in terms of e-commerce. Traditionally, China is very dominant by the C2C, mainly Taobao. And then in 2015, we expect for the first time to see the B2C channel to overtake the C2C channel. So what's driving this? So there are mainly 2 drivers. One of them is from the consumer, because Taobao, there are some not so credible products on the Taobao. And at the same time, from the supply point of view, the supply have been driving the B2C market. So in both effects, that has been shifting the consumer behavior from shopping on the C2C channel to the B2C channel. And the B2C channel is now currently dominated by 2 players, the Tmall and the Jingdong. They are of slightly different model. The Tmall, you can say, is more like an online shopping mall. So they don't hold any inventory. They lease out a virtual shop front to the shops, and people pay a percentage of the sales or a fixed fee to have a shop presence on Tmall. Whereas in Jingdong, it's a slightly different model. It's more like multi-brand shop or like a supermarket, in where they have inventory. For certain products, they don't. But in most products, they have inventory. And even if the one that they don't hold inventory, they work with certain suppliers. So when you click onto Jingdong, you shop from just one shop front, and then you pick your products, and then they'll deliver it to your doorstep. So it's a 2 different selling model. So what it means for luxury retailers, it's very important to have a presence in the e-commerce space. But the key question is how to integrate the e-commerce strategy within the overall strategy. How does it work with different channels, distribution channels? So that's the key question. The Daigou channel. So Daigou channel is very huge. It's huge. It's about 15% of the whole spending on luxury products. So how this work is that a Daigou agency or a Daigou person would... A Daigou basically means it's sort of like a concierge grade import service. So how it works is that the person would place products, catalogs online on Taobao mainly, but they don't actually hold the inventory. They don't own the inventories. So they place the product online. And then the inventories actually belongs to a shop in London or in New York or in Paris. So when a customer clicks online and they find this Daigou service, and then they would click, and then they place an order, and then the Daigou person or the correspondent will go into the actual shop in London or in Paris or in Tokyo and go and purchase that product and then ship it back to China. So this is how it works. So why is there such a service? Because there has always been a price differential between the European price or the Hong Kong price to the mainland Chinese price. And so what this service has done is to take advantage of that price differential and also the popularity of e-commerce. So that's why it has grown quite a bit. And it has also put pricing pressure on luxury retailers. So for example, the men's shoes, Tod's men's shoes, so they retail for 6 660 in China. They retail for 525 in Hong Kong, and then you can find a Daigou service for 575. It's the same product, but it's from a shop in Paris or in Italy or in the UK. Fendi ladies bag. So in China, 2,500. In Hong Kong, 2,100. And then you can find one on Daigou for 2,000 US dollar. And YSL ladies bag, 2,900. That was recently reduced from 3,700 because of the pricing pressure. And Hong Kong, 2,200. And then you can find it on Daigou for 2,500. So they're leveraging this price differential. And so this impact on the retailers, it's more severe on the independent retailers. For the global retailers, there's some impact, but it's not severe because you're shifting from one hand to another, so it's left hand or right hand. But whereas if you're an independent retailer, this impact is more severe because in China, you are being the showroom. So they actually research offline and purchase online. So you're being the showroom for shops in other countries. So the key question here is how to manage the global pricing and also how to manage the pricing in China in order to cater for this pressure from Daigou. Other brands like Gucci and Chanel, they have recently reduced the price, and also BV, Prada, Ferragamo, they are considering to change the price in China in order to counter this pressure from Daigou. Social media. So social media, Chinese people, they like social media a lot. We estimate there are more than 700 million social media users in China at the moment. Mainly from QQ, which is mainly a messaging service, but they also have a QZone, which they developed. It's a more of a social media platform. And following that, it's a Weibo, which we know it's a social media platform. But the one that's coming and growing a lot, it's a WeChat, which started off with in the instant messaging and then venturing into social media. And now they might not have as many users, but I would say that is probably one of the most popular social media platforms that the Chinese people are using at the moment. And the penetration, if we look at the penetration for China's social media users, it's high comparing to the APAC countries, it's about 46%. But if we compare that to Hong Kong or Taiwan or some of the other countries, it's still low. So there's room for growth when the mobile penetration picks up, especially the smartphone picks up. So we believe that there's still room for growth. So for luxury retailers, it's very important to embrace this social media channel to promote the products. But the question here, the key question is how to use this channel effectively and what methods will be the most effective methods. So here I can show you a few examples of what some of the brands has done in terms of social media. So apart from the obvious one that having a WeChat page, from the company. There are other ways like the one-to-one sharing. So this is not blasting from the WeChat page to all the users or the subscribers. This is actually getting the subscribers to forward the message to their friends or families. So some examples is like, so for example, a private sale. So a private sale, they will send out an invitation to the subscribers, and the subscribers are encouraged to send it to their friends and families, and with the invitation, they can enjoy the private sale discount at the shops. And some of the brands go even a little bit further to try to encourage people to forward the messages, is that they have competition or contest to say, okay, the person who forwards the most messages will get a prize, because you can see how many people has read the message or forwarded it out, and then they do a ranking, and then the top 10 forwarders will get a prize. Another way to promote on the WeChat channel is by broadcasting events live online on the WeChat channel. So this is an example that Burberry has done. So they did a fashion show and then they broadcasted it on the WeChat. So all the subscribers can look at the fashion show live on their phones. At the same time, they can interact with other participant by chatting or commenting and blogging or on the chat group. So it's a short video that I want to show you. It's about 45 seconds long. So here. So people can blog and they can chat on the chat group, and then they will see the fashion show live on the phone.
This is another great interpretation of our trench coat. We've really cropped it, and then we've got this absolutely beautiful hand-painted print design.
So another way to use this WeChat channel is putting up quizzes or contests on the site to test the users or subscribers the knowledge about the brand or the heritage. And then usually there will be some prizes or vouchers or gifts if you get them correct. So this is more popular among brands that is more technical, so like the watch brands that has more heritage and craftsmanship. Another example is using the WeChat at the store, so it's offline to online. So when you're at the store, they would put QR codes as some of the products. So when you go up to the product and you scan the QR code with your WeChat, then it's a whole interactive experience. So they would talk about the product description, the history, why they're making it, how it's been designed. It's more of it's an offline to online campaign. So there are different ways that you can promote the product on WeChat. The key is to understand which is the most important, which is the most effective for the particular brand, and how to use WeChat effectively. And then we talk about online payments. So this includes mobile payments as well. So online payment is growing at a staggering 36% year on year. So this is huge. Currently, it's dominated by Alipay, and then we expect, so Tenpay, the WeChat payments uses the Tenpay platform. So we expect the Tenpay to grow significantly in 2015 because it has picked up a lot of momentum in terms of mobile payments in WeChat payment. But in 2014, so it's dominated by Alipay, but because the market is growing at such a fast rate, it could be anyone's game. So that's why we see a lot of players from financial players, e-commerce players, and also financial technology players to go into this industry, this market, and trying to fight for this market. So to recap, so e-commerce, it's huge in China. It's growing at double digits, and it's shifting from the C2C model to the B2C model. So it's important for luxury retailers to embrace this channel, to use this channel. But the key question is to how to integrate this channel into the overall distribution channel strategy. For social media, Chinese people they love social media. 700 million social media users at the moment. Penetration is expected to grow when the mobile phone penetration picks up and the smartphone penetration picks up. So luxury brands should embrace this channel, but the key is to how to use this channel effectively and what methods to use it. And online payment is growing at 36% per year. It's a huge market dominated by Alipay at the moment, and then WeChat is picking up. But it could be anyone's game because it's growing so fast. And so that's why a lot of the players are going into this market to try to get a market share. And the key question here is to how to win in this market. So that's about all for the China part. And I'll pass it back to Francesco to do a wrap-up.
Just so, to conclude, the presentation. We think luxury consumers want more and more time. We are an era of acceleration of history. So everything is going so fast, so you don't have time. So time is the real luxury. You want a strong identity products, recognizable products with an history, with a design, with a background. You want real high quality, this is real luxury. And you want services to make the most of your time, that is very little. And digital access to the brands, be it for, scouting the market or purchasing a product. But if we put all together, what does this mean? It means that product and services will become one platform to serve the client, and become this a long-term life cycle of revenue stream for the brands. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Francesco. Any question from the audience?
Yes. Hi.
My name is Daniel from Chantal Supplies Limited. Could you say anything regarding saturation of luxury?
One thing I already said, because in the first 3 slides I said that the expectation of growth, the esteem this year, 2015, globally, overall will be 3% at constant rates, which compared to the former years is not a growth, is mainly the same in 2014 and less than 2013, 12, etc. So yes, there is a saturation, but I see in technology and building through technology platform, product and service an opportunity to revamp luxury. So in a way, what you're asking is correct, but I think that technology itself is stupid. It's what you let the technology do for yourself that is clever. So I think that technology will allow, if properly used and invested in, platform, product and service, a new revamp of sales. If this will be a compound annual rate for all the sector, or will be some winners, this I cannot tell you. We will help those asking for our advice to be the winners.